So here I am at Joshua Tree National Park with my friend, and this was on one of the hiking trails. And a funny thing happened on the way in. There was just this guy hiding, and he was waiting to surprise his friends. There was a lot of people walking around, but I said, it's not actually cold at all here. And my friend was kind of agreeing, and I'm like, it's a lot colder at the gate. And then, that guy who was hiding, he just comes out and he starts talking to me, and he's saying, yeah, it's going to be 30 degrees Fahrenheit tonight, it's going to get super cold, it might ice over, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, oh, really? And, we just keep walking, and, this guy keeps following us, and, his friends pass by, and they're like, why did you start talking? And, he just totally wasn't even listening to them. He just, clamped onto me, and he was just talking to me like he was my best friend or something. So I don't know why people do that, but sometimes they do. I obviously wasn't carrying one of those packs like I was going to go just camping in a sleeping bag overnight in this place. But the elevation's pretty high. It gets up to 4,000 feet, something like that, and it's cold. Here's an example of a baby Joshua tree. So Yucca brevifolia, which is the Latin binomial name, is endemic to the Southwestern United States. It's in, Arizona, California, Nevada, Utah, and the Mojave Desert. And, here's another one. It has these, deadish looking leaf tips. And here's an example of one that's grown a little taller. It looks kind of green at the top like a club. And they come in all sizes and shapes, so it's quite an amazing tree. I know I already have a video on the Joshua tree, but I just wanted to make another one because I finally made it to Joshua Tree National Park for the first time, and it's a really cool place, very majestic and serene. So here's an example of a Joshua tree where one of the branches fell over, yet all the other branches are upright. And you can see another one sort of to the left on the bottom. It's kind of an adventitious root sprouting. I think what's going on here is you have tiny little Joshua trees growing next to two Mojave yucca, or maybe the same plant. Maybe it's just one plant and one plant. And here we have a Joshua tree that's in a T shape. Very interesting. So this, from different angles, it just looks really goofy. It looks like basically a weapon. It looks like a war club. And so here we have some scenery of the desert. It's very serene here. And here's another baby Joshua tree. And the tips are always sort of brown and dead like that, or so it seems. And I don't know if they're spiky or not. I haven't touched them. Note the additional sapling coming out of the base of this tree. That's asexual reproduction through cloning. Here's a dead segment of a Joshua tree. That's what all the needles look like when they fold up and bundle against each other. And here's an example of a very beautiful Joshua tree, a mature one. And look at how green the needles are. People are always amazed by that. And the rest of the desert here looks very barren, but it's actually full of scrubs. The Joshua tree is the only tree with any appreciable wood in the Mojave, so basically it was used for wood at some points, which is a pity because it grows so slowly. And unlike a conventional tree, you can't count its age by its rings. It doesn't have rings. So it grows about 7.6 centimeters per year in the first 10 years and 3.8 centimeters per year afterwards. But you have to take into account that there are going to be some drought years or periods where there's little to no rainfall at all, and then there's going to be rich periods where it grows a lot faster. Joshua trees can get up to 15 meters tall, and that's probably not an absolute, so just that alone would take 385 years of growth if you do the math on average in, I don't know, maybe average conditions. Maybe some trees grow faster, some grow slower. So there are concerns that the Joshua trees might go extinct. The Shasta ground sloth that used to eat its fruits in the Ice Age and spread its seeds around it went extinct. So if you're interested in more information, please read the description, as always. And finally, we have an exhibit of a Joshua tree resurrecting itself after some kind of so-called death or damage. But, all these trees have root systems and they can come back.